Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Chandra, 150 years, destined meeting with Naqshbandi Sheikh Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan Razi Allah Ta'ala Anhu. Chandra, 150 years, destined meeting with the Master. Sufism, Chandra, popularly known as Lalaji, comes from a Naqshbandi tariqat. Naqshbandi is one of the four paths of Sufism. तमन्ना दर्द दिल की हो तो कर खिदमत फ़कीरों की, नहीं मिलते हैं ये गौहर बादशाहों के खजीनों में। तमन्ना दर्द दिल की हो तो कर खिदमत फ़कीरों की, नहीं मिलते हैं ये गौहर बादशाहों के खजीनों में। This is a composition which is placed by the biographer of Lalaji, Sufi Brij Mohan Lal, under his photograph. Tamanna means aspiration, supplication, prayer, request. Dard-e-dil, you are separated, just as the space where you are in, listening to this composition, this live streaming, wherever you are listening, is a space which is encompassed within the four walls. And these four walls define this space as room. It is part of the outer space, the greater one. In the same way, there is a greater space or emptiness. Hindus call it as God or Paramatma, and then the individual soul. Individual space in the room and the cosmic space. So when this space that is within your room is separated from the whole, there is a lament of separation from the whole. So when it is said dard-e-dil, that pain or suffering or agony of separation from its whole, तमन्ना दर्द दिल की हो, if you are aspiring, or your prayer is because you are separated from the whole, you want to unite with that again. So tamanna dard dil ki ho, if you aspire or are suffering from that pain of separation from your whole, from the total, then har khidmat fakiron ki, come in the company of the awakened ones. Fakir. Fakir word is very beautiful. It comes from fe, means fasting, faka. So one who is ready to sacrifice everything for the sake of this destination, तो कर खिदमत फ़कीरों की, नहीं मिलते हैं ये गौहर बादशाहों के खजीनों में. These are precious gems that are never found in the treasure house of the mightiest king. तमन्ना दर्द दिल की हो तो कर खिदमत फ़कीरों की. नहीं मिलते हैं ये गौहर बादशाहों के खजीनों में. लाला जी is that precious gem that is not found in any treasure house of any mightiest king. Sufism is the way, the path of love. Never consider Sufism as a religion or philosophy. It is heart to heart communion, union of formless to formless. What is the union of formless to formless? The room cannot merge with the space outside in your yard. It is the formless, the space that you cannot see. You see the space because of the possessions, because of the things that are there in the room. Your furniture, your cupboard, your desk, this and that. You know the space only because of the contents that occupy this space. Space is emptiness. So only that emptiness can merge with the outer space. Not your furniture, not your cupboard, not your table will not merge with the outside. Can it? Certainly not. The empty space which occupies all those your possessions in the room, when they are removed, the room is empty, the walls are removed, it merges. So it is the union of formless to formless, merger of exoteric into esoteric. Inner merges with the outer. The inner space in a room, the inner space of emptiness within you merges with the cosmic space. When you live each moment guided by that light, and in that merger of the exoteric to esoteric, Sufism seeks to discover individual light first and then living by it. When you live each moment guided by that light which shines from within, one day individual light shall merge into the cosmic light. Sufism calls this phenomena as fana, the ultimate in Sufism. Sufism seeks to establish communion between discordant elements, nafs, qalb and ruh. These are the three elements. The three are always at conflict with one another, thus rob you of your inner serenity. The conflict between nafs, qalb and ruh. You are never at harmony, whether to take simple examples in your life on a day-to-day basis, whether to take this soft drink or that soft drink. When you have the menu in front of you, whether to order this or that. So this always remains and robs you of your inner serenity. When the three elements are in harmony, inner light or nur radiates through each thought and action, moment to moment. Know this as awakening. Life unfolds millennia in a moment. Also, life pours infinite ocean of emotions in a single moment. In a single moment, life creates a summer, a musical symphony, as words overflow from deep within of an awakened one, whose echo lingers in your ears like the dissolving notes of an enchanting melody. And continue. Cherish this moment. Live it with total exuberance as an overflow is about to pour into your being. बेतासुबी सदाकत की जान है. Tassub means narrow. Those who are narrow, divided by various divisions. We criticize the Hindus for caste, division of caste, but this division remains always the division of the identity, division of cultures. So many kind of divisions remain. And your identity as a human, as a man, as a woman, your identity on the basis of religion and so many other things. Betasubi, one who is not narrow, who is broad-minded, who is open. Betasubi sadakat means truth. To rise above narrowness is the essence of truth. If you seek truth, you have to rise above narrowness. This is oft used message of Lalaji, and it is important if we want to celebrate, or if you intend to celebrate the life of Ramchandra as part of your life, you must understand this and live by it. Creator is one, and therefore the creation is bound by the common bond or Noor. That common bond of Noor or consciousness or awakening. Therefore my emphasis has always been on blending these factors while not losing the focus from the spiritual aspect. A Sufi heart is indeed one that understands this and thus overflows truth garbed in love and awareness as two sides of the same coin. In Sufi terminology, the two words jazb and suluk flow. Love is its very essence and the way of life and living. Love evolves and becomes an unfathomable reservoir only when it experiences truth or haq deep within. Without the understanding of truth or haq, love is meaningless. Remember, truth alone is, and the rest is illusion. Truth manifests from within as love. We are bound to each other by a causeless force. You become aware of this overflow from deep within, then its form changes from individual to cosmic. You are no more individualistic. You are no more narrow. You are cosmic. And this is known as when the form of love changes from individual to cosmic, know it as compassion. Compassion is the formless form of love. Sufism, therefore, is the journey of love through various masters of Sufi path who are embodiment of love. It journeys through various parables and their sayings. Thus a way is formed. Know this as the Sufi path. It is spread over 2000 years, starting from Holy Prophet Hazrat Paigambar Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to the present day masters of various Sufi order. The journey is long. Since it is the 150 years of Ramchandra, something about his birth is important before going into the destined meeting with his master. Ramchandra comes from a respectable Hindu family of Kais clan. And one of the ancestors, his name was Brindavan Lal Ajan Bahu. Bahu means arms. Ajan means long. His arms were so long that they reach up to the knees. So he came to be known as Ajan Bahu. He was the celebrated ancestor of the clan. He lived during the times of Mughal emperor in 1500 AD, somewhere. Mughal Emperor Akbar. In appreciation and recognition of his extraordinary wisdom, valor, and administrative and other capabilities, he was granted a parcel of 555 villages. On this piece of land, Sri Vrindavan Lal established his home as Bhumi Gram. Gram means village. Bhumi means the land. So that part of the land where he settled came to be known as Bhumi Gram, which got defaced over the period of time and came to be known as Bhugaon, where also lived the uncle master of Lalaji, Maulana Abdul Ghani Khan. The name later on became the face and now known as Bhugaon. In the same family, after some time, a person was born known as Chaudhry Harbaksh Rai. He was born. He worked as the chief administrator of tax. The unprecedented events of 1857 shook the hearts of ordinary citizens. Therefore, furthermore, due to the fear of loss of life and property, Harbaksh Rai, along with his younger brother Ulfat Rai, and the family moved from the village Bhugaon to the district of Farrukhabad. Farrukhabad is the district. Fatehgarh is subsection of that. The major part of the village were destroyed, and inhabitants have migrated to other places in search of work and security. Harbaksh Rai too settled in Farrukhabad along with his younger brother Chaudhry Ulfat Rai and the family. There the family settled in the area called Nitganj, area of the city. Harbaksh Rai, his wife Durga Devi, was an embodiment of righteousness. Durga Devi, the wife of Chaudhry Harbaksh Rai. She was an embodiment of righteousness and piety. She was a pious-minded, pondering constantly on the affection and stories of Hindu incarnation Ramchandra, Bhagwan, God. Ramchandra, the text Ramayana, Ramcharitmanas was part of her study. In her devotional melodious voice echoed the entire surroundings of the house. Very often she used to get absorbed in it while singing the verses of the Holy Scripture. Such was her pious and religious way of life. She did not have any child. Quite often this saddened her regard for her wise, and she has the regard for wise and saints, and she used to always welcome such people around her house. All her savings used to be spent for such occasions. No one left her doors empty-handed. Listening to the saints and the wise alike. The tales of devotion were her usual pastime, along with trust in the unknown and unknowable, and nourished such qualities as a treasure. Trust is a great virtue. Indeed, trust is virtue. She has a devoted maid. It happened once a mystic, wrapped in a blanket, came to his door. Before that, it is important to mention Chaudhry Harbaksh Rai was the superintendent of tax collection. He was involved in drinking and meat eating and other activities. Durga Devi was not part of that. She has her separate kitchen and she used to cook vegetarian meals. So it happened on that destined day, a mystic appeared from nowhere. He was wrapped in a blanket. He came and asked for food. Durga Devi, being a vegetarian, brought Indian fried bakes, that is known as puri and the vegetable. He asked for fish. Talking about the fish in that house was prohibited. She, without losing her trust, she inquired, and her brother-in-law, Chaudhry Ulfat Rai, mentioned that today the Nawab, a king, kind of a small king, he sent two fish specifically for the elder brother Chaudhry Harbaksh Rai, and these has been cooked very tenderly in spices. She asked her brother-in-law Chaudhry Ulfat Rai to bring those two fish, and he offered it to that mystic. He ate that. And then that time the maids were also used to be very dedicated to their masters and mistress. He looked at it, he said, "You look saddened." So the maid said, "Hazrat, my mistress does not have any child, and this often saddens her. So if you can do something, bless her with a child, it will be good." He raised his hand towards the sky and said, counted to 1, 2, and disappeared in the thin air. 9 months after, on 2nd of February, Basant Panchami, Ramachandra was born in the year 1873. Year 1873, 2nd of February, that was the 5th day of the spring season. Ramachandra was born. 2.5 years after, 7th of October 1875, his younger brother Raghuvar Dayal was born, who was popularly known by the disciples as Chachaji. But Lalaji called him Nanne. Nanne means minute, small. This was out of affection. Only Lalaji called him Nanne, no one else. So that was the kind of a monopoly. They lived in that life. From the early childhood, mother infused into him, the stories of Ram, and while listening to the stories of Ramcharitmanas, he used to get lost into meditative trance. And when he was 7 years of age, his mother departed. A time when both Ramchandra and Raghuvar Dayal were lived in affluence, but his father Chaudhary Harbaksh Rai wasted his wealth and prosperity in wrong company, and in the same city where they used to be moving in carriages, they had to walk bare feet from one place to another. That was the area, in the Hindi it is known as mohalla. In the West we call it avenue or streets or by other. That was Nitganj where he lived. From there he moved to Fatehgarh, Talaiya Lan. That was the name of the area where Lalaji lived till 1931. Their disciples used to gather for meditation and different occasions. So Lalaji, at the age he passed. That time the classes used to move in a reverse order, like the first standard, second, third, fourth, so on and so forth. It used to start in the reverse order. The 8th, 7th, 1. So the first standard was the highest. So somehow or the other he passed middle. That is, middle means the 8th standard in English medium. So there was the shortage of accommodation in his place. So he has rented a place. There was a place called Mufti. Mufti is a word used in Islamic tradition just as sir or something there. So there was a school and a few rooms where the people used to live. In one of the rooms, Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan lived. He was teaching in that school. And next to his room, Lalaji rented a room where he will go and do his studies and all that. Every time when Lalaji will come to go to his room, he will pass in front of the room of Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan. He was being nourished and nurtured in a mysterious way. Whenever Ramchandra will pass in front of the room of Fazl Ahmad Khan, he was waiting outside the door, waiting at the doorstep for his would-be disciple to pass through. Every time when Ramchandra will pass there, out of reverence he will bow down and pay his salutations to Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan and then go to his cottage, go to his room to study. The distance between the two places were almost 3 miles, and that he has to do by walking because of the financial limitations. It was the destined day. It was thunder and lightning, cold winter night. Imagine thunder and lightning, cold winter. No proper warm clothes. Ramchandra, as usual, came to his room passed in front of the room of Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan, who was anxiously waiting for him because the moment of destined meeting was about to happen. As he passed in front of that room, Ramachandra paid his gratitude, salutation of gratitude and love towards him. He said in Hindi, "So much thunder and storm and cold weather and you are still here? इस आंधी और तूफान में और आपका आना, your coming in that moment of thunder and lightning and cold." He said, "Bete, my beloved son, come inside, change your clothes. I will prepare the fireplace for you in the meantime." These words were so touching. Imagine, बेटे, इतनी ठंड, आंधी और तूफान और तुम्हारा आना. Son, in this moment of thunder and lightning and you are coming, go inside, change your clothes. Your clothes are wet, soaking wet and cold, bitter cold. I will prepare the fire in the meantime. These were the words that were spoken, that ingrained, inscribed on the heart of Ramachandra, a bond that was already establishing, attained its fruition. Ramachandra changed his clothes, and in the meantime, Sheikh prepared the fireplace, and both of them sat down on the Sheikh's bed, and they remained in that state for a long time. That was the first meeting or the tawajjuh. Although he said, "Bete, whenever you used to pass in front of my room and I was waiting for your presence and passing, the energy used to flow towards you. You were being nourished and nurtured. The energy field of the Master flows incessantly. It's like the messages, like this talk is going on now, uninterrupted. If you are connected to the Wi-Fi, through your system, you can hear it." So once there is an inner connection, inner net between the master and disciple, you can feel the current, the energy field flowing towards him. Otherwise not. If your Wi-Fi is turned off at the moment, or it is not on, you cannot hear what is happening at that moment. What is flowing, the words are merely the carrier to carry the energy field of the Master. So that is what used to happen. They remained, how long it remained, time flowed on as if the time has ceased. Time has become still at that moment. In that moment when there is a union of formless to formless, in that destined meeting, the time comes to a cessation. Time does not move, as if the stars, the planet and everything has ceased to function. They remained for how long? At the clock time, not known. When the thunder and lightning eased up, Sheikh said, he used to call him Bhai Puttulal. It is that name was given to him afterwards. He said, "Bete, बारिश the rain has stopped, the lightning is eased up, you go home. Ramachandra, soaked in that and in that reservoir of love and tawajjuh of his master, started walking with weary steps towards his home. He felt as if the sky and earth was merging. Sky and earth was merging into an unknown oblivion. He reached home. He did not eat anything. He straight away went to take a nap. Early in the morning, around 4 o'clock, he dreamt. He saw a dream, a vision, that a throne descended from an unknown realm. On that was seated a hoary-headed sheikh with long beard. And on that, to that sheikh, Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan presented Ramachandra as his offering. As he did, and he was accepted. Next day, when he came, he mentioned of this meeting, this dream that he had to his Sheikh Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan. Tears began to flow from his eyes. Tears of joy. Tears of celebration began to flow of his eyes. He raised his hand in supplication. Be it so. Son, when I used to see you passing, my invisible energy field, tawajjuh, used to flow towards you. From the birth, your life is towards truth. तुम्हारा जीवन जन्म से ही from the birth is inclined towards truth. From the birth. And in the first meeting, having that vision clearly shows what you are destined to be. And it was that he was accepted that very moment in the first meeting. Thereafter, every day, Lalaji Ramachandra will pass in front of his room and will pass in front of Sheikh Fazl Ahmad Khan's room. There used to be a satsang, a communion, a sohbat all the time. Then it happened. On one destined day, it was on the 19th day of his life, 19th years of his life, his master accepted him, initiated him as his disciple. Ramachandra officially became the disciple of Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan. Thereafter, one day, when his younger brother Raghuvar Dayal came to know that his brother, elder brother, is going in the company of a master and he has been initiated, he cried, lamented in front of his sister-in-law, the wife of Ramachandra, Jaidevi. Bhaiya, my elder brother has deceived me. he went in the company and got initiated without me. The amount of innocence was there. Next day, Ramchandra mentioned of this to his master and sought the permission of Sheikh Fazl Ahmad Khan that his younger brother has stopped eating. He said that he wants to be in the company also. So from then onwards, both started coming in the company of Fazl Ahmad Khan. But Fazl Ahmad Khan treated Raghuvar Dayal as his toy. आप मेरे खिलौने हैं, you are my toy. And that is how when Ramchandra will come in the company of Fazl Ahmad Khan, the meeting, the sohbat will become very intense, sincere. The moment his younger brother Raghuvar Dayal will come in the company of Fazl Ahmad Khan, the atmosphere becomes lighter. He will ask Raghuvar Dayal to give jokes. He used to give jokes, and the whole meeting used to change from sincerity, from the suluk to the other state, lighter jokes and so. This is how the union happened and the journey continued. I will continue in this session. Although it is a long journey from 1873 to 1931, it cannot be encompassed in 1 or 2 sessions. Life long is not enough to absorb the rigors of this journey into your consciousness, but in a moment something can happen to you. Something can happen to you. That's the journey, the love that flowed between Ramchandra, Raghuvar Dayal, and the master Fazl Ahmad Khan. Journey continued. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care. The journey, the third part, maybe after that. I am getting an inner feeling that I should continue this celebration for a little longer time beyond this session, this season of 3 sessions, yesterday, today and tomorrow, to the next week also, to take certain, right now it is the beginning of certain events, and in between I had encompassed the mystical aspects of each happening. The significance of the fish is important to understand, and few other things are important. All these will be part of the 3rd volume of Leaves from the Sufi Heart, the Renaissance Naqshbandi Tariqat, which will be published soon in the name of one of our beloved friend, Mujib, and another one, as I narrate to them the life, the Renaissance Naqshbandi Tariqat, Leaves from the Sufi Heart, Volume 3. It will be available to you all, to those lovers of Lalaji, soon, as part of 150 years of celebration of the Master. So I will let you know tomorrow, and I have a strong feeling that I should continue this session, extend from 3 to another 3 sessions, because this has created a thirst in some of the Sikh listeners, as it is in me, to share more for your inward journey. I'll continue beyond tomorrow, another 3 sessions. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.